We're here at the BBNJ workshop at the Radisson Hotel in Trinidad and Tobago, the first ever of its kind being held. And I am so privileged to be joined by Dr. Danna Kanhai, lecturer at the UWI, lecturer in marine biology and ecology. So Dr. Kanhai, thank you for joining us this morning. So let's hit it off. The BBNJ Treaty, why should Trinidad and Tobago ratify, and what purpose and significance does it play?
Right. So when we think of planet Earth essentially has this one global interconnected ocean, and this ocean is really very important to mankind. This ocean helps us to have provisioning services. So for example, in the form of food, people harvest fish, right? Regulating services, so it's an important regulator of our planet's climate.
Yes.
It helps us to have important cultural services. So for example, a lot of people, they just benefit from being near the ocean.
Yes.
Some people, their religious practices are associated with the ocean. And then of course, I think very importantly, the ocean provides us with supporting services. So it's a very important habitat for marine biodiversity. Now, states generally have the ability to protect their part of the ocean, and that's considered to be any area within their exclusive economic zone.
Yes.
However, once we move beyond the exclusive economic zone, we are now in the high seas. We are in an area beyond national jurisdiction. And I think the BBNJ agreement allows us as a planet to actually offer protection to those areas that are beyond our EEZ. And those areas are providing us with really important services. So Trinidad and Tobago really by signing on to this agreement, by ratifying this agreement, what that will demonstrate is our commitment to protecting our planet's marine environment, essentially.
Yes.
I think that's
you've been here at the program throughout this morning. You've heard from the multiple speakers, the ones who have joined us virtually, top experts in their field in marine biology. What are your thoughts on this whole of society approach, your thoughts on the workshop thus far? Do you think that stemming from this workshop here today that there can be effective change in the culture, in the mindset of those where marine diversification, protecting our ocean in that area of our life here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, so I think when we think about the marine environment, we have lots of different users of the marine environment. We have fishers that are harvesting fish for us to eat. We have people that are recreational users. We have tourists coming. We have scientists. We have educators. And so almost every person, I mean, we live in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And so we are minutes away from the sea. Yeah. Every single person is impacted by the marine environment. And I think if you want to have people committed to protecting something, you have to engage them in the conversation. So we need to have that participatory whole of society approach when we're trying to achieve anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the UWI? I know you're a lecturer, but besides the actual lecturing of students, what is the UWI, Department of Life Sciences? How are you engaged in promoting the signing and ratification of the BBNJ?
Right. So one of the first things that we do, the UWI focuses on education. So I teach in the marine biology specialization,
yes.
Which is within the BSc in biology degree. And then I also teach in the BSc environmental science and sustainable technology. So I think for us as educators, one of the first things that we try to do is that we try to inform our students about UNCLOS, the United Nations law on the Convention of the Sea, and then of course this new BBNJ treaty.
Yes.
And then we emphasize the importance of countries ratifying the treaty. So that's one of the first things that we do in terms of education, the undergraduate students that we come into contact with, the postgraduate students. And then of course we also have postgraduate students. We have 5 students actually that are focused on marine scientific research.
Yes.
3 of them I'm co-supervising with Dr. Diva Amon and Professor Judith Gobin.
Yes. Yes.
And they actually focus on deep sea biology, right? And so what they do as students is that they share their research with the international, regional, and national community
Yes.
to expose persons to, okay, so this is what we have in our very own backyard,
Yeah.
right? And so if those students can understand and if they can communicate that information to national, regional, and international audiences, it makes ratification by countries so much easier. And then we have two other students. One is focused on ballast water management, and then one is focused on plankton ecology. All of them are really focused on understanding the marine environment, understanding how we impact the marine environment, and then also, as many of the speakers pointed out, and the minister pointed out, moving towards action,
Yes.
developing interventions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm recalling Minister mentioned, and Dr. Ava Maxim, director of the IMA, she's recalled that the professors, persons at the top of their fields, they reside right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have the resources, we have the expertise. I think it's a matter of implementation and actioning, getting these persons more involved, giving them the opportunity to come and present their work in forums like these. Because many of the times what we see happening is that they present their work internationally, regionally, but here locally we are unaware until they make it big, so to speak. So really that exposure, for lack of a better word, to the work, the good work that's been going on here in Trinidad and Tobago. If there is one thing, one message that you would send to wider Trinidad and Tobago in terms of ratifying, in terms of the BBNJ, what would that be?
I suppose my one message would be that we need to think beyond our current generation, and we need to think about the generations to come after us. And so by ratifying this BBNJ agreement, we are setting up good conditions for protection, for conservation of marine biodiversity, for the provision of these ecosystem services that I talked about at the very beginning, you know, for the generations to come. So we need to think about intergenerational matters.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So Dr. Kanhai, thank you so much for joining us. We do hope that you enjoyed the rest of the program, the workshop here today. And we look forward to continuing the relationship with the UWI, the students that are currently here with us taking part in the workshop. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.